Hello, I'm Lisa, if you don't know me, and I haven't really found a niche here on YouTube past surrogacy, apart from being a mum, but one thing I am very passionate about is makeup, because I'm exhausted. My daughter has a sleep disorder, hasn't slept in 7 years, and without it, I make small children cry in public. I want to do a comparison video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you what I look like at the beginning of the day wearing some foundations, maybe a few snippets in the day, and then at the end of the day how it lasted up, and comparing high-end expensive liquid foundations to high street drugstore to see, is it worth the 32 quid for the one I'm wearing right now, which is Huda Beauty, versus Primark's very own liquid foundation, which is only a couple of quid. Is having the high-end makeup really worth it? Does it hold that much better? Is the application that much better to make it worth being 3 times the amount of money than you would walking into your local Boots and grabbing something? I haven't really seen anyone else do this that is a mum with a mum life and mum stresses, so I thought I would try it because I'm going to be running around after kids. I'm going to be getting stressed because I can't find the socks. I'm going to be cooking dinner or doing the washing up. I'm going to be doing bath time and getting splashed in the face. So each day I'm going to do beginning of the day, end of the day, and have a little bit of a sort of discussion at the end. And do let me know in the comments down below what you think of this, if you found this sort of video helpful, if there's anything else that you would like me to test as a mum, and what your preferred ones are. Have you got a foundation that you would recommend that works really, really well for you and survives the daily life that a mother tends to have? I'm wearing Huda Beauty, which went on brilliantly with the damp beauty blender. There was no issue sticking it on my face. It set well. I don't think it looks particularly cakey or anything. It's just the one layer, and yeah, no complaints. It's kind of covered everything I wanted it to cover, because obviously with the fact that I've got hyperpigmentation, so I've got brown patches on my forehead and red thread veins on my cheeks and discolour all over my face, it does kind of cover most of it. It doesn't necessarily make me exactly one shade, but that would be a little creepy if it did. So as it stands, I like the way it's applied, I like the way it looks, and I'm going to see how it holds up during the day. Being as it's the first day, I nearly forgot I've been around town. I've done like hours worth of ironing with steam in my face and all sorts, and this is it at the end of the day. I have not put any powder on to top me up in the day. I've done literally nothing. This is from this morning. I think about 9:30 it was done, and we are now at, I think it's 10:30 at night, so it's 13 hours of wear. And honestly, it's obviously it's not perfect. Like, there is some wear and it's worn off in places, but actually I'm really impressed with how this one has held up. So quick one, it's day 2. I'm wearing Este Lauder double wear. As you can see, I've got kids behind me getting ready for school because this is mum life, but this is it on. I've got to say, actually it doesn't seem to give as much cover. I did one sort of simple layer. I seem to need to use more product than I did yesterday with the Huda, and it doesn't seem to be as good a cover. So straight away I'm leaning more towards Huda because I think it did pretty well. But yeah, this is my face. I've managed to, this morning, put contour and that on, and the same, well, eyeshadow from the same palette, which is Subculture. Hi, George. So we will see how this lasts up today, and then, yeah, compare and contrast at the end of the week. So excuse my tired face. I've had a very busy day. I've sweated a lot. I've been very active in some ways. And this is the makeup. It's definitely covering stuff. It looks almost like it's worn off, but I think a surprising amount will actually come off because my skin is so discoloured. So, you know, it's not too bad. I think had I put any like powder on in the day or anything like that, I would look better again, like I said yesterday. But actually wearing well enough, it's, I think, yeah, it has worn off a bit, but actually it's looking pretty damn good. No complaints from me. So this is me without makeup for anyone that was interested. So you can see quite a lot of redness going there, and I've got, you might not be able to see it, but discoloration on my forehead. And just a very much patchy, blotchy skin that is quite red on my face, and it doesn't actually match up with my neck at all. So generally I try and match foundations more with my neck than I do with my face. But yeah, that's me without makeup. Sorry, I didn't have time this morning to do all of this at home because of various things going on, school runs, you know, mum life. So I'm in the car, safely parked, by the way, before anyone has a go. And today I'm wearing Becca foundation. One of the reasons I am applying it with a beauty blender for all of these is because I swear it's the only way you can put this Becca foundation on. I've played with all of these foundations for a while. you cannot seem to put Becca on, or I can't, with any other foundation brush. It has to be a damp beauty blender. And you have to do a little bit at a time because it's quite thick and it dries down really quickly. And then you end up with it like patchy and cakey in places, and it's not great. But if you master how to put it on, it does do quite good cover. I know my makeup's terrible today. It does cover things pretty well, but it's definitely, I don't like it as much skin type. If you find the thicker ones that dry down quite quickly are for you, then I would definitely recommend Becca, because you see the coverage is pretty good with my face, and it usually wears quite well. But I'm going to film again at the end of the day and let you know how well it's worn. And yes, Edith made a poppy for school. Yay. She's just before she explodes, because I haven't mentioned that again. Mum life. So it's 10:10 in the evening, and this is my face at the end of the day with the Becca makeup. And as you can see, it has not held up really at all. I probably did less strenuous stuff. I was less like hot and sweaty and stuff today than I was yesterday, and it's barely held up at all. I mean, when I wash my face, I don't think there's going to be hardly anything left. So not really a big fan of Becca, and I won't be buying that again. So as a mum, it's not one I would recommend, to be honest. Hello, this morning I'm wearing Fenty Beauty's, I think it's Pro Filter or Faux Filter, I can't remember. Anyway, this is what it looks like on my face. So I am going to see how well this lasts. Yeah, it kind of covers everything I want it to do. It doesn't fully cover all imperfections and blemishes, but no foundation does. So I'm going to see how it lasts up today, and I will let you know later. But I'm loving this one. I love the way it goes on. I do. Kind of like Fenty. So here we are at the end of the day. It's like 10:30. I'm actually literally sweaty faced right now because I've just run around and run up the stairs and stuff. But I think it's actually held pretty well. If you look, you can see that it has worn a bit, like there's more pink from my thread veins and flushed cheeks, and the fact that I'm really, really hot right now coming through. But other than that, I think it's held up really well considering it has pretty much stayed on. It's yeah, I've got no complaints whatsoever. It hasn't oxidized, it hasn't anything like that. It's actually really, really good. So I've got to say, I'm a big fan of the Fenty. So today I'm wearing my first sort of high street drugstore, whatever you want to call it, liquid foundation. And this is L'Oreal Infallible. So this is what it looks like this morning. Straight away, I'm aware it doesn't cover as much as the full coverage ones, the sort of higher end ones, but probably similar to Este Lauder on cover wise, as in what it's been showing through. So I'm going to see how this lasts today. But yeah, this is my first sort of like cheapy one, and I'm going to be interested, because if it holds up as well as the Este Lauder did, because that stayed, then I would just get this in future. You know, this just my thing. So we will see. So here we are in the evening with the Infallible. It's more worn here because I've got a bit of a problem with this eye and I keep wiping it. So I'm doing this a lot. I think I've wiped like the makeup off of my cheek. So this side is probably a more realistic side on a normal day. I think it's actually held up pretty well. Again, like I said, with the first couple of days, if you just added a bit of coloured powder during the day, like your normal face powder, I think it would hold up just as well. It's not worn as well as the higher end ones, but it hasn't like all come off my face in like a couple of hours, because it is literally late, very late at night, very dark. So I'm actually really impressed with this one. Today I'm wearing the Primark foundation. As you can see, it's definitely lighter coverage. You could see stuff through it. The only other thing I would say about this one is it does oxidize. So as you can see, there's now a difference in colour between my face and my neck that you don't necessarily get with the other ones. I've not noticed to this level anyway. I would recommend, if you did get this one, maybe do some swatches or buy two. It's so cheap, 2 different shades, and try that on, because it does oxidise quite quickly. But the good thing is you can swipe some on your hand and then walk around the shop and know whether you wanted to go with a specific shade or not. But yes, it's light cover, so I would recommend using a concealer. But for its price from the off, it's not too bad. Definitely not as good as the Infallible, and nowhere, not even shade on the higher end stuff. But yeah, for its price, This one is definitely one that I would normally have used a powder foundation over the top rather than just translucent setting powder, because I think you need the extra layer of the colour on your face, and if you did that it would probably be absolutely brilliant, but obviously I'm testing them all with just translucent powder. But yeah, that's my face this morning. No complaints, just be aware of the oxidisation, really, that it's going to change colour ever so slightly as it dries onto your skin, and that's it really. So we'll see how well this lasts. I'm not entirely sure it's going to last that well, but we shall see later. So here I am, evening, after wearing Primark foundation all day. As you can see, it hasn't really stayed very well. I've had a spot come up on my chin, which, who doesn't want that? Definitely worn off, but if you had used like powder foundation in the day, you'd probably be passable, but pretty much, yeah, has not lasted particularly well, but for the price, I think it's pretty good. The cats are going mad again. Today I have Maybelline's Dream Matte Mousse on, and I can't lie, not a fan. It just, I don't know, if you're not careful you can leave like this thickened patch, and it's only when you move your head you see it, but it pretty much, as you can see, hardly covers anything. It has obviously evened things out. I think if you want light coverage, maybe you would be a fan of it, but I just don't like the way it is on my skin. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel, I think maybe it's not a personal attack to anyone that loves it, obviously. I kind of like high coverage because my face is crap, but and like discoloured and all of that stuff, and this doesn't really cover anything. I feel like it's not really going to last, but I suppose for Alice, if she just wanted to feel like she had makeup on, but I didn't want to like clog her pores up or anything like that, maybe it would be a really good one. But yeah, this will look like I have not brushed my hair, ignore that. But this is my face, and we're going to see how well it lasts in the day. Dream Matte Mousse didn't even really make it to lunchtime. It literally was just off of my face within a couple of hours. I'm not a big fan of it, can't lie. Sorry if anyone likes it, but for me, I just thought it was absolute crap. Very quick one this morning. I believe this is Revlon Colour Match. I will put the name there if I'm wrong. I've forgotten at this point. But yeah, it looks okay. It's sort of a light to medium coverage, definitely showing more of what I actually look like through it. But I think it just sort of smooths it down. If I had, as usual, the coloured powder on and concealer, it would probably be perfectly fine. But we'll see how it wears throughout the day. So here we are at the end of the day with the, I want to say Colour Match. Still can't remember what it's called. Haven't really, I mean, obviously there is still some on my face because I'm not as red as I naturally am, but I still look redder than a lot of people, I think. So it hasn't held up brilliantly, but for its price. So there we have it. I've tested all of the foundations, as I should have explained a little bit earlier, but I seem to have managed to delete that part and I'm not sure where it's gone. Clearly I am a professional YouTuber. Thank you very much. It was literally testing the liquid foundation on its own merits, so I did not use any concealer. I didn't use any coloured powder foundation during the day. I just used a translucent setting powder in the morning and did nothing else to my face. There was no interference whatsoever, so they were all equally tested in the same means on weekdays, pretty much, where I was doing the same routine roughly. And at the end of that, I've got to say, for me, the personal winner ended up being Este Lauder's Double Wear. Although it's not as full coverage as, say, the Huda or the Fenty, if you're going on high-end level, its staying power was immense. And I think if you used concealer and maybe topped up with some powder foundation during the day, you would have looked pretty much flawless the whole day. I mean, damn, that stuff stays. If I was going to go for an evening out and I wanted a fuller coverage, more of a photo finish like thing, I would probably actually go more towards Huda. Originally I was thinking Fenty, but since playing afterwards and reviewing the footage, I definitely think Huda would win on that one. But the other reason that I would lean more towards Este Lauder in general is because it's a lot easier to pick up. Because I know House of Fraser is going under, so this may be a temporary thing, but like House of Fraser and Debenhams and stuff, you can just walk in and pick it up. Whereas other ones you have to like order online on somewhere like John Lewis or even Beauty Bay or Beautylish or something like that. So it's slightly more complicated and you do end up incurring postage charges. So that also helped me lean towards the Este Lauder, which is that one there, which you can just about see them behind me. If you are high street, definitely Infallible. Hands down, that was my absolute favourite. It definitely stayed better, and again, if you'd use concealer and topping up in the day with a powder foundation, it would have been great. I mean, honestly, cannot fault it. I'm trying to convince myself I need the Este Lauder, but overall, I don't think the Infallible was that far behind it, and yet it's maybe a third of the price. That is completely crazy. So definitely going to get myself some more of the Infallible as well, because it was good. So I suppose if I'm just doing like day-to-day school run or whatever, I'm more likely to use Infallible and save the Estee Lauder for the days where I'm going to be out for the whole day for like meetings or something up in London or whatever. But overall, it's definitely opened my eyes to what ones to avoid. Maybellene mousse. Oh Lord, that was terrible. But yes, I really enjoy doing this. I can't lie. If anything else you want me to test, as I said before, do leave a comment down below, because I would love to play with other things and justify it to my husband with this video. I will put links to things down below as well. None of them are affiliate links, not because I don't want to get extra money. I would quite like extra money, thanks, but I actually don't have any affiliate links, nor do I know how to make them. I've never read up on it. But none of this was gifted, none of this was sponsored. It was all paid for out of my pocket, much to my husband's absolute and utter disgust. It was all funded by myself, and I'm now very poor. But let's not worry about that. It was all for YouTube. I was doing it all for you guys, YouTube and the viewers. You needed me to do this, right? This is totally justified. So I'm going to get off, but yeah, let me know down below if you have other ones that you prefer, or if you notice something in my video and you're like, dude, you're an absolute numpty, Primark looked so much better at the end of the day. Do let me go. I'm just going off of my own experiences here, and as always, the words are entirely my own. I'm not necessarily spouting anything that you would fully agree with. Your skin, your face, your lifestyle is not mine, and what works for you, and I'm not trying to tell you otherwise. But I hope everybody is well, and I will see you all soon. Bye.